Alrighty guys, it's TheDevKing here, back with a brand new video, and guys, welcome. Okay, in today's tutorial I'm going to be teaching you about remote events and remote functions. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a confusing one, okay, for some people. A lot of people actually have a lot of trouble with this, but I'm going to explain it the best I possibly can. I remember exactly what I had trouble with whenever I first learned it, so that should be able to, maybe I can clear things up for you that, a beginner also would, because I was once a beginner too, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and start. Alright, so I have some notes over here to the right, so if I pause for a second and think, that's why. So yeah, okay. So first of all, remote events and remote functions, okay? You've probably heard of them before, but what are they? Okay, that's probably what you're wondering. What are they? And actually, before we get into the video, I forgot to say, please be sure to watch my beginners series scripting tutorial, or else you'll be very confused. Okay, this is not a tutorial you want to just jump right into. Go watch the beginner series first. The link is in the description below. So yeah, and anyways, I'll start. Okay, so remote functions. Now, what are they? Okay, so basically, by definition, remote events and functions are used to let scripts on the server and local scripts on clients to communicate with each other. Okay, so what does that mean? It basically means, you know how Roblox added filtering enabled to their games, which every game has to have filtering enabled now. Hopefully you watched the tutorial. If you didn't, that's link in the description as well. But filtering enabled, you guys should know what that is by now. But basically, it means that anything that happens on the server will replicate and everyone on the game will see it. But if it happens in the client, so like for example, if a part gets deleted in like a client, so if I were to do okay, well basically if I were to make a part right now, right, and I did local part is equal to game.workspace.part, no, let's write this right now, and then I did part destroy, only I would see it, or yeah, only I would see it, because that's why. Okay, the reason why is because I did it on a local script, and a local script only happens for you, and anyone in the server who didn't run the local script won't see the parts deleted. The part will still be there for them. So yeah, hopefully you guys understood that filtering enabled tutorial I made, so you definitely should go watch that if you haven't already. The link's in the description, so please watch that first if you haven't. But yeah, okay. Anyways, now what do remote functions do, or remote events do? So remote events basically make it so you can actually do stuff from a local script. Like for example, let's say you wanted to have this part destroy in a local script, right? But you wanted it to happen for everyone. You wanted like to go to the server as well. How you do that is with remote events and remote functions. So what I would do is use a remote function. So let's go ahead and restart, delete all this stuff, and then I'll show you how to do that. So yeah. And let me see if I had anything else written down. So yeah, okay, so here's some practical use for remote events. I'm going to show you remote events first, and then I'm going to show you remote functions. They're pretty similar, but there's one slight difference between the two, and there's one reason why I should use one or the other. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and start, finally. Okay, so first things first, we're going to create a remote event, and we're going to put it in the replicated storage. The reason why we put it in replicated storage over here is because that way both the server and the client can both access it, to both the computer and the server that Roblox hosts is. That way both they can both access it. So we're gonna put it in here, and we're gonna make a remote event, and then we're gonna name it delete part. Okay, so what we want to do is we're gonna make it so whenever we delete a part on our server, or on our client, it's going to delete on the server too, because we're going to send a message to the server saying, hey, delete this part for everyone else too. So yeah. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and define the local, we're going to go ahead and define the replicated storage. So let's do replicated storage is equal to game.getService replicated storage. So that's getting the service, which is replicated storage. And people use rep storage sometimes, or they use like RS for replicated storage for short. I'll just do replicated storage just to keep it simple, and that way if you get confused you can understand that. So yeah, anyways, then we're going to go ahead and get the event. So we're going to do local delete part, which is the event when we named it. We're going to do local delete part is equal to replicated storage dot delete part, and actually we'll do wait for child, so that way in case it doesn't load in right away we can have it here. So yeah, it doesn't give our script an error. Alright, anyways, so now what we want to do is we want to delete the part right on this script, but I actually want to use user input service too, so it makes more sense. So you should know what user input service is and how it works. I made a tutorial on that, so hopefully you watched that already. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and make it so when we press the R key on our keyboard, or when we press the delete key on our keyboard, it deletes the part on not only on our screen, but on everyone else's as well. So I know a way to test that as well, which I'll show you guys in a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and do actually, we're gonna get the user input service too. So we're gonna use an abbreviation, which is UIS, which stands for user input service, and then we're gonna do game.getService user input service. And sorry if I talk a lot. I just want to keep it clear. But yeah. And then we're gonna do UIS.input began connect function input, and then there we go. Okay. So now basically, if any input begins and like a key is clicked or the mouse is clicked, this event's gonna run. And then we're gonna do if input, or no, if wait, leave me a second, I need to think. Okay, if yes, if input dot keycode is equal to enum dot keycode dot delete, then print delete key pressed. And then, oh crap, delete key pressed, and then delete parts. Okay, actually, I'll show that in a second. All right, so basically what this means is I'm going to go ahead and do if input.keycode. So you guys should know what this means, but if you don't, I'll explain it real quick. So if the input that's pressed, so if the key that's pressed is delete, which is a key on your keyboard. So if this is pressed, then it's going to print this out, which is just for so we can see it in the output and see something. And then we're going to have to actually run the event. So how do we do this? Okay, so how we run events is by using doing this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to the object browser real quick so I can show you. We're going to do remote event. Okay, so if you don't know how to get the object browser, go to view, click object browser. And yeah, anyways, remote event. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to tell our server to run the script. Okay, so how we do that is with the fire server function. Okay, so what is the syntax is just this. It's the event, the name of the event, right? And then colon fire server, right? And then you got to put parameters in here, which is what part do you want to delete, which is the part we have in our workspace. So we'll just put their part. And that's the only event we need, or the only parameter we need to put in there. So yeah, basically now we're going to fire to the server, or like tell it. We're gonna say, hey, here's this event. We just ran the event, and here's this part. We don't know what you wanted, and then we have to go on the server script and then actually do stuff with that event. Okay, so now we actually, to do this and to figure this out, we need to actually go into our server script. So let's make a server script. And actually, before I do that, but basically, guys, what would happen right now is if I wanted to do this, right, but only for me, I would just do part destroy, right? And this would work, but it would only happen on my screen and not everyone else is in the game. So yeah, hope that makes sense. All right, anyways, delete part, fire server part, and now we're gonna go ahead and make a script in our storage. Okay, so how we do this is we can put it in the workspace, or we can put it in the server script service. Server script service is just like a place where you can put scripts, right? So we'll put it there because it looks nicer. It's more like organized. So go ahead and insert a script in there. We're gonna call it the server script. Okay, that way it makes it clear that this is in the server. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and do. First of all, we need to get our event in this script as well, because we have to define all those variables again. So what we'll do to make it quick and simple is we'll just copy that over from this script. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to go ahead and actually do it. All right. So what we're going to do now is we want to do user, or no, sorry, now what am I saying? We want to do delete part, which is the event, the name of the event, on server events. Fire, oh crap, no, on server events, player, and then part. Okay, what did I just do here? Okay, well, first of all, I messed up the syntax. That was wrong. I need to, it's an event, so you put the connect thing there. Put the connect function, there we go. Okay, so what does this do here? All right, so basically on server event. So when the server is fired, so after this is ran, right, what's going to happen is it's going to go, okay, the server's fired, and then it's going to go woo into the server script, and then it's going to go right to here, skip right to here, and then it's going to, anything that happens right here will happen. Okay, so we'll write whatever we want it to do here, and now we know which part we want to delete, which is this part, right? And then you have to put player here because by default the the on or no yeah, the fire server event thing, the fire server thing right here, it actually sends the player as the first parameter by default. You can't turn that off. So what you have to do is just on the server event, hope you can read that, the first variable or the first parameter is player. Okay, so you're gonna need to put player here, or you can put whatever you want, but it's gonna be the player. So if I were to delete this, it would actually, the script would actually think this is the player. It would think it's named part. Because we can make this whatever we want. We can make this, bad part or whatever we want. But that's what would happen. So yeah. So just put player there. That way, always you're gonna put player there, and then your whatever parameter you put across is gonna be there. Or if you don't have a parameter, maybe you'll just have player. So yeah. Anyways, now we're gonna go ahead and do part destroy. Okay guys, so after all of that, we can finally destroy the part, and here we go. Oh crap, why did I just do that? Alright, so now here we go, and we're gonna go ahead and hit play, and now if we hit delete, it's going to delete the part for us. So let's go ahead and test it out real quick. Here it is, and delete. Okay, I put the syntax error, sorry about that. I put destroy. I meant to put destroy. Okay, my bad, guys. Anyways, there we go. Let's do it again. And now if we look at it and hit delete, it deletes. And now also what's cool is if we go ahead and do it on the server. So I'm going to make a test server. Okay, how you do that is by going over here to test, and then you go to local server, and then you have 2 players just so we can other people are in the game simulation. We'll have 2 clients, and then we hit start. And then it's going to make it all for us. So let me show you what I mean. Alright, so basically I'm just going to prove to you that now if I do it, oh crap, okay. Oh crap, okay. Alright, anyways, I'm going to prove to you that now whatever happens on here is going to happen there. Alright, so this is player 1. Okay. Alright guys, so this might be a little confusing, but right now on my left side of the screen, okay, it's player 2, okay? My left side of the screen is player 2. This is player 1, okay? You see how I'm walking on his screen? Okay, this is because this is like 2 people in one game. It's like I have 2 Roblox open, but really I don't have 1, right? And then right here, I have the server. So I can see everything that's happening. You see how they're moving and stuff? This is the server, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit delete on either one of these on clients, okay? If I hit delete on this client, it would delete the part, right? And if I hit delete on this client, it would delete the part on this client too. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and go on my player 1 right here, which doesn't matter which one it is. I'm going to hit delete, and boom, it deleted on my screen and his screen, okay? And then on the server, it deleted as well, okay? So basically, if I didn't do the remote event, it would only delete on one person's screen. So let me show you what I mean. All right, I'm actually going to test that for you guys real quick. So let me go back to my main thing over here, hit cleanup, which just closes everything over there. And then I'm going to get rid of, I don't have to delete the script, but I'm just going to change that to not fire the server. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it delete the part instantly, okay? So watch what happens, okay? Here we go. Oh, crap. Start server back up. So yeah, hope this makes sense, guys. I mean, if it doesn't make sense, please leave a comment below, ask your questions, or join my Discord server. My Discord server, people in there are always helping other people. It's so nice. And I'll try to answer you guys as best as I can. Anyways, all right, now we're in here, and we got our part again. Oh gosh, we have our. Oh wait, okay, all right. Here we go. We have our part. Okay. So now I'll show you the server as well. Okay, this is the server. It's seeing both people. I'll actually go over here just to make it a little bit cleaner. Here we go. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit delete on player 2. Okay, player 2 is on the right over here. I'm gonna hit delete. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to see if it deletes on this person's screen. And it won't. So let's watch. Alright, I hit delete. And boom, it's gone. It's gone off my screen. But it's not gone off his screen. And that's because it's in a local script. So it only happens for the person who does it. Okay, so it only happens for the client. Which was this client, right? Now this is another client, obviously. But you get the point. Right now, if I hit delete on this screen, too. If I hit delete on my left guy over here, right? I see a part over here, but this guy, he doesn't see that part anymore because he deleted it, right? But if I do it now it's gone for both of us, right? But on the server, right, it's still there because this is the server, right? So it only sees stuff that happens on the server. It doesn't see the client stuff. It only sees the stuff that happens on the server. So, yeah. All right, guys. I hope that made sense to you guys. But anyways, now I'm going to go ahead and show you basically how to use remote functions, because I promised I'll show you that too. So remote functions. Now, what is the difference between the two? Why do I need to use remote functions instead of a remote event, right? They do the same thing pretty much, and you know, what's the difference basically? Okay, so like I said earlier, remote functions are designed for two-way communication, and remote events are designed for one-way communication. So basically, remote functions are going to stop running a script until the function's finished running, right? So until the server side is finished running, the client won't keep running. So for example, if I had here, I had a remote function, right? For example, let's say remote function fired here. Okay, wait, let me put that at the end of it. Okay, if the remote function fired on this if the remote function fired on this line right here, anything that happened after it, so anything like, if let's say for example I printed hi, this would not happen. Okay, this would not happen until this was finished running. Okay, so obviously the syntax is not the same, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how they work. All right, it's pretty similar and pretty simple as well. And also this is here, don't worry about this. Okay, anyways, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and create a remote function, and yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do remote function. There we go, and we're going to name it delete parts function. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and put it up here. We're gonna go ahead and name that or define it in our script, because we need to have it in our script. So we're gonna do local replicated or local delete part function is equal to replicated storage, wait for child, and then delete part function. Okay, now the syntax is pretty similar but a little bit different. So we're gonna go ahead and delete all this stuff right here. Actually, delete that and then we're going to write out the syntax. So it's delete part function, which is the name of our function, dot or actually colon invoke server. Okay, so that's how you do it. It's not fire server, but it's invoke server. Now you can go to the object browser here and see it. So it obviously, like I said last time, it's going to pass over our player as our first parameter, but we want to pass over our parts. We're going to put that in there, and then we're going to go over here and we're going to do this. First of all, we need to actually define it, define it. Okay, here we go. And now the way you do the server invoke is a little bit different. Okay, it's going to be on server invoke, right? But what you want to do is you want to do delete part function on server invoke, okay, equals, now you're probably wondering equals, what the heck, equals function and then player part. Okay, now what this is doing, it basically is this is where all the code that is going to happen whenever you invoke the server. Okay, it's going to happen right here, right? Blah 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 blah. Okay, right here. Okay, this is where it's going to happen. Now basically, you don't do like you do in an event. You don't do delete part function, connect, you know, all that stuff. You don't do that. Okay, what you do instead is this, and basically you're assigning or you're setting a function equal to the on server invoke. So whenever it happens, you run it. Now you also could do this. You could do local on server or on delete part function, right? You could just do equals function or no, so wait, what am I doing? Okay, local function is equal, and then name it delete part function, right? And then we could put the parameters in here as well. But the thing about doing this is the fact that if you don't have the part already, which you won't, or if you actually use it, it's going to give you an error, or at least it did for me. So I wouldn't use this. I would just use this right here. Oh crap. And this is the easiest way to do it by far too. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to do part destroy. And now it should work the same exact way. So let's go and test it out and see if it works. So I'm just going to do it in the client, okay, because it's, you know, that's how it works, so you guys remember. And then actually what's cool, and what I can tell you guys too, is you see how currently I'm on the client, right? But if I click this button up here, it actually goes to the server, so you can actually test that without having to make a whole server and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit delete, and it deleted, and boom. All right, there we go, guys. We deleted it, and it printed hi down there because it passed that. But yeah, and on the server it's deleted as well. Okay, so it did work indeed. All right, so now what we're gonna do as well, I'm gonna test what I said, and I'm gonna put a wait in here. I'm gonna make it wait 5 seconds. Okay, so we're gonna see if it prints hi. So after this is ran, we're gonna see if it prints hi. Okay, because the script's gonna run from top to bottom, and it's gonna wait until it gets finished, or a response technically, and then it's gonna run again. So let's test it out, see if it works. Here we go, and okay, look, it did not print high yet. It didn't print high, which it should have, right? But it's waiting 5 seconds, and then it printed high. So yeah, that's the only difference between the two. Really, is pretty much just that they both can contact the server, and it's called, okay, wait, yeah, they both can contact the server and the clients. So there's really no difference in the two. But yeah, and now one last thing I'm going to show you, or actually two things I'm going to show you. I know this is a very long tutorial. I'm really sorry, but it's a little bit complicated, I guess. So it's okay. But one more thing I'm going to show you is how to actually contact the client, because I showed you how to reach the server, but how do you contact the client from the server? So what we're going to do for that is go on our server script here, and I don't really have a good example for it, to be honest with you. But what we'll do is, most of the time when you do that, when you do like from server to client communication, it's normally when you use a GUI. So when you want a GUI to change, because all your GUIs are in your client, not on the server. So yeah, but you don't really use GUIs right now, so I don't really know a good example. But I'm just going to show you how to do it anyways. So I'm just going to show you it, and yeah. Alright, so basically how you do it, it's the same thing as invoke client, but it's invoke. It's like the opposite, right? So see how you have here for remote functions, it's just invoke client, and then on this local script you're gonna put you're gonna do what I did, right? You're gonna do local, wait, crap, what am I thinking? Or yeah, you're gonna do deletes part function on client invoke, right? Equals function, and then here you go. And also there isn't a player in here, right? Because it's already coming back to you, so you're the player, right? So there's no like player function or player parameter in there anymore. So like there is here, right? So the first parameter would be whatever you send to it, and then here you would obviously do delete part function, and then fire server, or no, not fires. That's for remote functions. But for remote events, but for remote functions, it's going to be delete part function, and then server invoke client. I'm sorry, guys, it gets confusing sometimes, but basically that's how you do it. And then for for clients it's the other way, or for functions it's the other way around. The same thing, right? But you have, instead of on server event, which we did earlier, it's going to be on client event, and then instead of fire client, it's going to be fire server. Okay, so that's pretty much the same thing, pretty much how to do it. I would show you guys right now example, but I don't really have any, but it's pretty much the same thing, but it's different syntax. So obviously here, instead you would just put what you want it to do, and then here this is it, and then you put the parameter in here if you add one, right? I don't really have any examples for you guys because I don't know, you guys don't know how to use GUIs yet, but that's pretty much it. Now I think I've covered everything, guys. I'm sorry this tutorial has been so long. Okay, I actually had to re-record this a few times because I forgot to mention something. So yeah, anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry it was a little bit confusing maybe. Like always, guys, if you have any questions, please do comment them below. And yeah, that's pretty much it though, guys. Join the Discord server if you haven't already, and guys, coming soon, we have a lot more excited tutorials coming soon. I actually did a live stream recently just for fun, and it's kind of cool, I guess. But anyways, a lot more tutorials coming soon. Be excited, stay tuned, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys soon. Alright, peace.